Alright everyone, welcome back to the Ballast installation video series. And in this video you're going to watch me install all the bag fittings, make all the runs, and even in the center locker. Sit back, enjoy. Thanks. Alright, step one. We got to remove this hatch. To remove this hatch, you're going to need what's called an R4 bit right here, okay? No one's gonna have it at your stores unless you got a Snap-on or Mac Tool guy. You're gonna have to probably order one. Link is in the description below. So I figured out how I'm going to run my center locker line into my locker. What we've done is we've come underneath here. There's a little gap right here that all the cables and everything go through. That comes around and then underneath here. And what I'm going to use is I'm actually going to put a 90-degree fitting right here so that way I can turn this down and into this bag right here. The cable, the hose is still loose in there. I kind of have it pulled over a little bit, but it still moves back and forth. So I don't believe rubbing should be a big issue. And, oops, that's my blood on the thing. And so I think that'll do it. I'm pretty happy with it. Again, I take my compartment off every season so I can inspect this. The cables, all the cables still move as they should. They can still slide and do everything else. You know, not that they really move. And that's it. I might put something, I mean, this edge really isn't that sharp, to be honest, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it as is. So I did that instead of having to drill a hole through there, which I didn't want to drill a hole through here, and then I gotta drill another one here. So that kind of just kept me from doing that. So let's go ahead and continue on. We're gonna run the end of this hose, we're gonna run it through the filler right there into the engine compartment. And that's it. Okay, everything's run for the center locker. There's the end of our 90 right there. It's gonna come off of, sorry, get out of the way, wire. It's gonna come from there. Get turned around here. It's gonna come from there. It's gonna run all the way down through here, up and over to the pump. And then of course this is ran underneath our fuel tank, through there, and then pops right back out where that hose is. And again, we got our fitting right there. I'll go ahead and put the center locker back on, or the gas tank hatch back on, so I don't trip on anything. So getting these flow right connectors on, these are an 1.125" fitting. Inch hose. You have to heat the hose up in order to make this work. You cannot push them on. You got to use heat, a little bit of that silicone spray. Just is what it is. I wouldn't get an 1.125" hose only because everything else on the planet is usually 1 inch. So we just heat them up, slide them on. Center locker bag is done. We got our drain, we got our fill and drain, we got our vent, everything running up underneath here. Hose running around, right through there, right through there, right through there, and to the pump. So next we're gonna come off that back pump. We're gonna split it off, that bag. Here we go. All right, these are your valves. This is the valves I'll be using. I got this from Wake Makers. I also got the fittings from Wake Makers. I would get these fittings from Wake Makers because if you go to like a parts store like Home, Lowe's, they have these fittings. They're quite a just bit bulkier, to be honest with you, and I believe that the Wake Maker ones are a hair bigger on the inside, so you don't reduce the flow. Since they are plastic, everything you use, make sure you use Teflon. You know, screw them in, get them tight. Don't crank them down too hard. They are plastic, and that's it. But I got the valves in this all through Wakemakers. Links below in the description. And this is what we're going to be using. One side of the bag will be using a 90, and this other one's going to be using a straight, just how it's set up. And let's get them put in. Alright, so we got our valve hooked up to the bag right here. We got our line going through. I chose to run my ballast hose through here. Main reason I decided to do that is because I couldn't go really any lower because of the fuel fill and vent line. So I put it up here, and then this allowed me to run it along here by the gas tank and then out over to here. Likewise on the port side, I got my hose ran right here. I just need to go ahead and hook up that valve and get everything hooked up on this side. And then last but not least is we're going to use a T-fitting for that back pump so we can split the lines off. And we'll go and that's it. And then we're done. All the plumbing, all the hoses, everything's been run. So let me get this done. I'll show you what it looks like finished. Okay. Everything is finally run. All the plumbing is done. So let's recap what I just got done here. So we're coming off that back pump. That is coming around to this T right here. This end right here goes into this bag, which we can control with our valve. And then it branches around, comes into here to this valve, which we can control. And then also our pump there, the top one, that hose feeds around, comes over here. We have ourselves a little 90. This runs underneath the tank. And into the locker right there. End of the video, we made it. Everything's run. The plumbing is all done. The vent, the fill, the drain. Everything's clamped. Valves are, check valves are put in. So all we have left to do is the electrical for the 2 pumps, which will be a piece of cake, I can tell you that. And then we're gonna test it. And I'll show you how I do that as well. Hose clamps, man, I'm telling you what, I probably spent $150 in hose clamps, easily. The other thing is, this has been, this is a lot of work for anyone doing it. My suggestion is to just space this out a week, just like I did. Do the vent side, do the drains, the fills, break it up, because you will get frustrated. You don't want to get frustrated, it's just a lot of work, and you don't want to cut corners and get exhausted trying to hurry up. So that's my 2 cents. Everybody, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, appreciate it. See ya.